As a man, I know that it's easy to see something that we want and to go after it, to chase it, and to try and conquer it, to try and own it, to put it on our shelf like a trophy that says, that there is mine, I did it, I done did it, ain't nobody done did it like I done did it. You chase her love, your boss's approval, your father's approval, your friend's validation. And it feels like every single time you don't get the hit that you need from all of those different categories, they pull away and you try to chase harder. And of course, the more you chase, the more you're willing to give up your ground, the more you lose yourself. But here's probably what you've never been taught. We should only be chasing respect. If we chase respect, everything else will fall in line under itself. Without respect, love cannot be built, and approval from your boss, your friends, your parents does not last. Why respect is the foundation. Love without respect is manipulation. If she claims to love you, but doesn't respect you, she'll use your loyalty, sure, but she'll never submit to your leadership. What I mean is, she loves having you in her back pocket. She may even love to show you off to her friends, but behind closed doors, she's going to treat you however she wants to because she knows that you're not going to do anything about it. Her respect for you is placed on a lower level, a lower shelf just beneath her feelings. And a lot of guys make the mistake of thinking that money is going to place her respect for me on a higher shelf. And the honest and simple truth is, I think money will keep your respect on a higher shelf for a longer amount of time. Now, not a very long amount of time, but you'll find out the hard way, just like Hollywood, just like your favorite movie stars, just like your favorite rappers, just like kings and queens of literal countries find out that power and love do not make her respect you. Here's another one. If your friends like you, but they don't respect you, you're just entertainment to them. And if something were to pop off, they're not going to follow your leadership. Respect is the soil for all of your relationships. Love and admiration is the flower. If the flower's not growing, it's probably the soil. Why most men trade respect for attention? Because it's easier. We would rather see it as a sacrifice, which is false, by the way, but we do. We see it as a sacrifice that we're going to take our emotions, how we feel, and we're going to put them aside right now in order to keep the peace. That's what I see from a lot of guys in long-term relationships whenever they're out with their woman in the middle of Walmart, in the middle of Sam's Club, in the middle of some gas station, and she pops off and says something to you, and you don't immediately check her balance. Like I said, you don't have to get mad or do anything like that. You can look her dead in the eye and say, look, I love you. I respect you, but you will never talk to me like that again. Saying something as simple as that is a hell of a lot better than doing absolutely nothing, suppressing how you feel because you think you're keeping the peace temporarily. You're exchanging a short-term battle for losing the war. And eventually, after you've lost enough of those wars, she's going to file for divorce out of nowhere. She's going to break up with you out of nowhere, and you're going to be left wondering, what? I sacrificed so much for you. And it's like, yeah, you sacrificed the wrong things to keep that relationship. It's like you apologize for having standards. And look, your woman's got to know your standards. Again, this comes to you as a man being able to draw boundaries in that relationship and to say, you cross those. It's a hard line. In other words, that line doesn't move. You cross them and there's going to be serious consequences for it. And it could lead to the end of the relationship. In a way, you are overextending yourself, not just to keep the peace, but to be liked. Your friends can tell this whenever you're out with a new friend group or a new group of people and you start acting not like yourself. And your friends can see through it, and your wife can see through it, and all of a sudden you look really weak because you're putting on this facade, this mask of this person you're trying to be in order to win this other person's approval. And usually this is done with either a different friend group or maybe with your coworkers or even your boss. And guys, that never works out long term. You're going to lose a friend group, a girlfriend, or the boss, or some combination of the three, simply because you're not being your authentic self. You are sacrificing who you are in order to gain something, and usually it's just attention. And here's the real kicker. At best, you become liked, but never valued. You're like the jester in a king's court. Yeah, there are a few perks that go along with it, but at the end of the day, everyone's just gonna laugh at you. She might entertain you for a while. She might think that you're in love and that she's in love, but you'll never be in control. And if you're not leading that relationship and you think you're gonna push that responsibility onto her, she will absolutely resent you for it. So who should you be earning your respect from? Now, a lot of this does come from childhood, where your parents teach you that you are a respectable person. If you had average parents, they're going to instill some type of confidence in yourself, which stems from having confidence in them, which stems from them having confidence in you. It's a wonderful cycle if it's not broken. And I still see men in their 30s and their 40s and their 50s that are still trying to impress their daddies. I think it was Jordan Peterson who made a really good point. He said you had to live as if your father were dead. And I get it, when you're a man, when you're a teenage boy, whatever, and your dad is still in your life or is maybe not in your life, but you still want that validation from him. But there's got to come a time and point in your life where you say, okay, my dad's not going to approve of this, but I'm a full-grown man out of my mommy and daddy's house. I'm supporting myself, and if they don't like it, that's their problem. And lo and behold, mom and dad always come back around. Here's an obvious one: your boss. And you earn that respect through competence. Now, I know there's a saying that says hard work may get you promoted, but nepotism will get you the throne. And I understand that line of thinking, right? But by and large, if you have an average boss, your boss is going to see your competence and is going to reward you for being competent. And it's remarkably simple. You show up early, talk less, don't be a smartass all the time, do your job just a little bit better than the person next to you, don't call in a lot. Now, you don't want to kiss his ass, but you also want to become irreplaceable. If there is a job in your department that needs done, you need to know how to do it. And I can already hear the guys telling me, oh, my boss sucks, blah, blah, blah. Well, then get a different boss, man. And if you're going to tell me, well, I can't because I blank, 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 either shut up and get a different boss, or shut up. Nobody wants to hear you moan and whine like a little I have absolutely no respect for guys who want to sit there and complain about their lives and the things that they could change, but for whatever reason, they just think they can't. And stop blaming your mommy, your daddy, your boss, your girlfriend, or your kids for your crappy life decisions. Grow up, dude. Here's another one: your friends. And you earn that through the boundaries that you set in that friendship. And simply put, don't be a clown, sure, but also don't be a yes man. Don't just go along with things because your friends are doing them. If your friends cross the line, you need to check them, and you need to check them immediately. You need to be the one who holds himself accountable to his own moral code. And again, respect in friendship is not about being liked. It's not about going along with whatever they want. It's about being solid, calm, masculine. And solid, calm, and masculine men are always easy and relaxing to be around, because others around them know that they're emotionally in control of themselves, and if something were to pop off, that those men can handle it. That should be your goal constantly. No matter where you are, you need to bleed confidence, bleed competence. And of course, your woman. You don't chase love. You don't chase her attention. You chase her respect. You are the man in that relationship. You are the one that sets the tone. You are the one that is supposed to lead that entire dynamic. And I've got a point here that I'm talking directly to myself, okay? And that is, you should never argue with a woman. If you are arguing with a woman, you have already lost. And there are several reasons for that, but the basis being you're on her level. You're not leading now. You're letting her either up to your level or you're lowering yourself to her level. And what you're really communicating is, I don't understand you. You should think like I think. You should talk like I talk and act like I act. But really, you don't want that, because if you wanted that, you wouldn't be in a relationship with anybody. You want her to be her own person. You want her to be feminine, to have a feminine mind, which is chaotic, by the way. And you need to be capable of handling that. And again, I'm talking to myself here, but it still needed to be said. Women love who they respect. And if she does not respect you, it is only a matter of time before she suddenly stops loving you. But okay, let's talk about your ex. You've already screwed all of this up. She's now your ex, and you're wondering, okay, well, I'm not going to get her to respect me. But here's the thing, you actually can. And yeah, her last memory of you may be less than perfect, okay? Maybe you were the beggar, the pleader. Maybe you were the angry guy that put 4 holes in the wall, screamed at her, and threatened her, okay? Now, obviously, all of those things are bad. But you going no contact with her, you detaching yourself, working on yourself, and that could include therapy. It could be working out at the gym. It could be getting a promotion. It could be switching careers entirely. These things are going to make you look not only more mentally stable, but also more respectable in her eyes, which is the foundation for her to even think about you again. You don't win her respect through a carefully worded text. You win back her respect by becoming the man she doesn't recognize anymore, because she doesn't want to see the man that ended that relationship, that blew up at her, that was cruel and unkind and maybe even toxic to her. How to build respect in yourself. Now listen to me here. Self-discipline and self-respect go hand in hand. I dare you to find me somebody who's overweight that respects himself. I dare you to find somebody who's broke that respects himself. I dare you to find somebody who's unhappy in life and respects himself. I dare you to find somebody who's at a job they hate that respects themselves. Now look, I understand. Sometimes I go to Wendy's and I get that Baconator meal, large size with extra bacon, and it's not the most respectful thing to do to myself and my body. A little bit of disrespect I think is okay. But yes, generally speaking, you need to be waking up at a decent time. You need to be working out, working on yourself, working on your goals in your life. You need to be eating cleaner. You need to be learning to say no to people instead of just being a people pleaser. It's almost like men who respect themselves, who have a high level of self-discipline, radiate this frequency that others can tune into. And yeah, it's got to be said, if you don't respect yourself, how can you expect anyone else to, man? Now, here's another point. Purpose over people. Stop centering your life around being liked. Center it around something that's bigger than you. Men who chase approval stay lost. They stay confused and they wander around the desert for 40 years like Moses does. Then they wake up when they're in their mid 40s and they wonder, how did their life get away from them? It's also worth noting that Moses turned his life around and did something great, even after he was in an old age. And I know that it sounds unkind to put purpose over people, like people are just this disposable commodity. But I don't mean it like that. I mean it like you should place your goals above being liked, above seeking and chasing validation from people. That's why on this channel, I don't sugarcoat shit. I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to hear regardless of whether or not you like hearing it or not. If I was just chasing approval, I'd just tell you whatever you wanted to hear. You want your ex back? Sure, buy my course for $3,000 that'll guarantee you get your ex back. And those people exist, unfortunately. And the honest and simple truth is you can screw up beyond the point of no return sometimes. But the odds are you haven't. And what you really need is a swift kick in the rear to get your life back in order. So bro, stop chasing validation. Stop chasing attention, especially from the woman that you're either trying to love or trying to get back. Chase her and she'll end up running. Chase approval and you'll end up losing yourself. But if you can chase respect and place that as your highest priority in life, then all of these things will fall in line underneath it. Respect isn't about being feared. It's about being valued. It's about being trusted. It's about being remembered as the guy who can handle himself, and if things pop off, is the guy that can handle the situation. So lil bro, you've got this, and I've got you. I'll see you in the next one.